I have one when you can have two. Welcome back to the Akimbo 66. So today we're going to be doing a bit of a podcast sort of video where ESPN has only just released the top 100 players for the upcoming NBA season. We're not going to do the entire top 100, we're just going to analyze the top 25 or so. So let's get into it. So looking from 25 down to 20, at 25 we've got Rudy Gobert, 24 we've got Karl Anthony Towns, 23 Zion Williamson, 22 is Drew Holiday, 21 is Bam Adebayo, and number 20 is Kyrie Irving. So based off the players from 25 to 20, what do you think of that so far?
I think some are well placed and some are not.
Yeah.
I think Rudy Gobert and Cat would be solid. I think
Yeah, I feel like
Cat
they're
could
in
be
a
up
good spot.
a little bit more.
Yeah,
But I suppose the Timberwolves struggled a bit, so that makes sense.
yeah.
As for Drew Holiday, I don't know about
Yeah, no.
because would he be? No, I feel like as you said before, if he won a championship, would he be a top 25 player? I don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so either. I'd almost reckon he'd struggle to make
Yeah.
top 30. I mean, on the list it says he was number 33 last year, so I feel like that's probably where I would have him now.
What was he at 33? Yeah, that's about probably where I'd have him still.
And he struggled a lot in like the finals at least. I know he didn't shoot the ball well at all. Like he was shooting like 4 from 20
That's
like a
very
lot of
true.
games. Like I don't know about that. Obviously defensively is pretty good, but yeah.
I think for me, Zion's the most interesting one. I feel
Yeah.
like he had last year he was ranked at 19 and he's gone backwards, but I feel like he had a better season this season than he did last year. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he's moved back.
And he hardly
I guess
played
maybe
as well
players
in
have moved
2020,
forward,
so it's kind of strange.
Mm.
Bam Adebayo, 21. Yeah, look, he was 13 last year. I think that was really way too high last year. I think 21 is probably about right, yeah. And
Yeah, 21
Kyrie,
seems alright. And then who's like?
Kyrie at number 20. I feel like he's an interesting one because he obviously didn't play like a lot of games. But he was like, as Kyrie always is, he's always like inconsistent, I feel. But I feel like he was better this year than he was last year, which is what they also said. He was 25 last year, down to 20 this year. But he's obviously a player that could push into like the top 15 at his best, easy, you know. So it's an interesting one.
I feel like it depends who comes after him, of if he would actually stay 20. Like I don't.
Yeah,
know.
that's
I feel
true.
like if someone like Ben Simmons or something is above him, I would say no. I put Curry above him, but
100%.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll have to find out.
Alright, so the next 5 from 19 to 15, we've got Chris Middleton at 19, Donovan Mitchell at 18, Trey Young at 17, Jimmy Butler at 16, and we've got Devin Booker at 15. So what do you think of these listed 5 players here?
I feel like it's pretty interesting. Like Chris Middleton, number 19. He was number 35 last year, so he's obviously gone up a lot. I feel like it's fair. Like, I don't know if Chris Middleton, for me personally, I guess he was an all-star. I just don't really think of him as like one of like a top 20 player. I don't think if I was making my own list, he might not feature. So I do feel like, I saw with the Drew Holiday situation, I feel like they're sort of basing it off how they performed in the finals, you know, which he did do well, you know, credit to him. So he's a bit of a question mark for me, but I feel like he might be only a few spots above where I would put him personally. Donovan Mitchell at 18. He was 18 last year. I think he should probably be higher. I think he had his best season by far.
Wow, yeah, true.
Especially in the playoffs, he was like, he was amazing. And to have him higher than Trey Young and Jimmy Butler, I think Donovan Mitchell deserves to be higher than both of them. Devin Booker, 15, I feel like he is in a right spot. I feel like 15's probably about right. He's got the capability, I think, of maybe going top 10 this year. But I think 15 is probably about right.
I agree.
So looking at players 14 down to 10, at 14 we've got Jason Tatum. At 13 we've got Chris Paul. At 12 we have Paul George. 11 we've got Bradley Beal. And at 10 we have James Harden. So your thoughts on these players, ranked where they are here?
Immediate reaction would be, I feel like Paul George is a bit too high.
I agree.
He'd definitely be a top 25 player, easy.
Yeah.
But would I rather him over Tatum? No.
No, yeah.
Or even someone like Donovan Mitchell, or maybe even Devin Booker, to be honest. Mainly going off playoff performances there. I'd rather those players. CP3, look, maybe I think 13 is probably a bit high. I feel like top 20.
Yeah.
Maybe just not 13. I feel like the worst one on here is Beal. Second leading scorer of last season and finishes 11. It'll be interesting to see who comes in front of him, but I definitely feel like he's way too low.
Right, okay.
Should be way higher. He should definitely be like, I'd say almost, maybe 7 or 8. Somewhere around that margin. And Harden, I feel like, I don't know if I'd move Harden. I feel like Harden is probably a top 10 player, but on the lower end. So I feel like 10 would be just about right.
Well, I thought that they were going to make him like a top 5 because they love Harden. I'm happy with that because I feel like James Harden overall this year, I feel like he moved away from being that sort of ball hog player playing with KD and Kyrie. I feel like he actually did a good job. I don't like Harden, but I'm willing to actually give him credit for being more of a playmaker rather than just all-out scorer. So I think that's fair. And just on Bradley Beal, obviously, because he's a wizard, it's hard to not be biased and say, I guess he's a top 10 player. But I mean, he was number 22 last year, and he did average over 30 points. So I'm glad that he got a bit of recognition.
Enough, isn't he?
Yeah. I almost feel like he's in the right spot though, just at the moment, because he does have some issues, like being clutch. Is the biggest one. But look, I feel like until maybe next year, well, I feel like the Wizards are going to take a big leap. I feel like he'll become a top 10 player on this list this time next year because he'll prove that he can actually lead a team without the need of a John Wall or something like that. He can do it himself. So good on Bradley Beal.
Alright, so counting down for the next 5. At number 9, we have Anthony Davis. Number 8, Damian Lillard. Number 7, Joel Embiid. And number 6, Nikola Jokic. So what are your opinions on these 4 players?
Yeah, look. First off, I just want to say that at the top of the list, or before it began, it said that Kawhi Leonard wasn't going to be included because of his knee injury. Which I think is a bit interesting, considering Anthony Davis, who is 9th on this list, barely played. But I also think that when he did play, he didn't play overly well. At least not consistently well. So I don't think Anthony Davis should be in the top 10. I wouldn't have AD over Harden. I wouldn't have AD over Beal, although I am being a little biased. Maybe if a Jason Tatum, I probably wouldn't have Anthony Davis over. So I definitely think AD is way too high. I also see here, he was number 2 last year. I'm a little confused with that. I think that's a typo. I don't think he would have been rated number 2 last year. But if that is the case, that is just what? Lillard, number 8. I feel like that's a good position for him. But there's more guys below him that I would not have that low, if that makes sense. I would have Lillard over them, such as Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's a great center, but I would prefer Lillard personally over Embiid. And we're not the biggest fans of this year's MVP, Nikola Jokic. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. He's a good player. He was ranked number 10 last year. I feel like he's in the top 10, but I feel like he's on the back half of the top 10. He'd probably be like a number 9, maybe number 8. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but I feel like he's really overrated because of his passing ability as a 7-footer. And sure, it's cool to have that in your arsenal, but he has no defense. I mean, he got swept. Was it by the Phoenix he got swept?
I think it was
something
Phoenix,
like that. An MVP shouldn't be getting swept. I know people are like, "Oh, Jamal Murray didn't play." Well, Jamal Murray's not an all-star, so you can't expect him just to be the reason why they're going to win a series when they're getting swept. He's not going to be a 4-game difference. So I think Jokic at 6. I get maybe because he won the MVP, they're going to put him a bit higher, but I mean that's their problem in the first place for making him the MVP. So that's just where I look at it.
Yeah, I find it interesting that the MVP is coming in at 6. So the player who won the MVP isn't even a top 5 player heading to the next year. I find
that is actually a good point.
It'd be interesting to see if, I'm assuming some of the runners-up MVPs are going to be ahead of him, which I don't understand how that.
That is also a good point. Yeah, we'll find out, won't we?
I don't know what they're doing there.
So, what are your thoughts on this top 5?
It's interesting. I'll start with that. I feel like they're obviously going off the performance of last year, which then puzzles me. Sorry, with why Curry is 5.
Yeah.
When as we stated just before, he's listed higher than the MVP of last year when he came second. I don't understand how that makes any sense. So I feel like for me, Curry should be higher than 5, and then I feel Luka's well placed. I think 4. I think he's a top 5 player. I think 4's just about right.
I agree. Yeah.
LeBron, again off last year, there's no way he's higher than Luka or Curry. I said not career, but off last year, and heading into this year, no way.
Yeah.
He's above them. I feel like he'd be 5 for me.
I agree. Yeah.
And I feel like the last 2 are pretty good. I wouldn't really. The only one I have a maybe is if I'd happily interchange Curry and Giannis between 2 and 3, but for me, KD's locked at 1, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely the best player skill set wise.
Yeah, that's better.
I agree with your analysis there. I think. I mean, Curry had an amazing season. I think he had an underrated season almost. I think he was just as good. Also, the Warriors weren't anywhere near as good, but I think Curry was just as good as his MVP is last year. I feel
like last year was probably his best year of his career.
Well, every game, he was hitting 7, 8 threes every game. It was crazy, and shooting really, really efficiently as well, as he always does. But yeah, I agree with your analysis with that. So we decided to go through and reorganize the top 25 the way we believe it is. You'll be able to see the players on screen here. So we have put at number 1, we put Kevin Durant. Number 2, we put Giannis. Number 3, we put Steph Curry. Number 4, we put Luka. Number 5, LeBron. 6, Damian Lillard. 7 is James Harden. 8 is Nikola Jokic. 9, Joel Embiid. 10, Bradley Beal. Jason Tatum at number 11. Donovan Mitchell, number 12. Number 13, Paul George. Number 14, Devin Booker. Number 15, Anthony Davis. Number 16, Chris Paul. Number 17, Jimmy Butler. 18, Kyrie Irving. 19, Trae Young. 20, Karl Anthony Towns. 21, Bam Adebayo. And 22, Chris Middleton. Zion Williamson at 23. 24 is Drew Holiday. And 25 is Rudy Gobert. So let us know in the comments what you guys think of both ESPN's top 25 list and our list as well. And what your list would be as well. It's going to be a very interesting season, and I'm really looking forward to it. So for now, guys, thank you for listening, and we'll see